Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the ISR Red Bull World Series here at Suzuka for round number 1 of this 12-week-long campaign. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic one. We're just finishing getting set up here to go racing once again. I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. Just before we get everything going, we're going to cut to a quick commercial just as we get some guys connecting to the lobby and finish setting up the stream, and then we'll get underway for qualifying for round number 1.
Sounds.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are ready, because we sure as hell are. We're going to get ready for 31 laps of Suzuka tonight for round number 1. The maximum tyre allowed, as you can probably see from our practice leader, is the super soft tyre. Now these guys will be getting ready to go qualifying very, very shortly, and it's likely going to be the super soft tyre at least that these guys get started on. Now you can see we're having some connection issues for driver Sonics and Quick Shots, my apologies. The reason for these connection issues, we believe, is the North American PlayStation Network servers. Now, unfortunately, this is something that is kind of out of our control. We're trying our best to get these guys in, but there's nothing more we can really do. Now, we may ask the drivers if they're okay to restart the lobby just as one last attempt for these guys, but we will be jumping immediately into practice if that is the case. I'm just going to quickly confer with these guys. I do apologise for the delay, guys. We will be underway as soon as possible. We'll put it on to another commercial so you have something to watch. We'll be right back.
Every day I get a little closer, and everything I'm made of starts to melt away. I see the signs, but I can't quite make the words out. All I want is to be near you, but I'll push you away. I just wanna get away, but I hurt you every day. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. Every chance I get, I'm moving closer. I know I'm not supposed to, but I can't break away. I see the signs, but I can't quite make the words out. All I want is to be near you, but I'll push you away. I just wanna get away, but I hurt you every day. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. I hate talking about it. Tried to lose it, but instead I found it. I just want you to know I couldn't love anyone more. Stay away from me. I'm trying to walk away and just won't let up. Stay away from me. I'm trying to walk away and just won't let up. Stay away from me. I'm trying to walk away and just won't let up. Stay away from me. I'm trying to walk away and just won't let up. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you. The part that hurts the most is me, the most is you. It's everything I do without you.
Well, hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally underway. We had a quick lobby restart for connection issues per the regulations. However, those connection issues appear to be resolved. Sonics has made it in the track. Jonathan Guerrero, aka QuickShots 10, is not responding currently. We have given him until just now, actually. He had 2 minutes to respond. Unfortunately, he's not reading messages or anything like that anymore. So we're just going to get going for 15 minutes of qualifying here at Suzuka. Up next. So we're just letting our drivers now know that they are good to go. Qualifying will start. So here we go then. We have 6 seconds to go before the qualifier begins. Hello to everybody in the chat. We have 6 people at the moment. Was 7 watching. One of you got bored of the adverts, but I do appreciate my apologies for that. We were trying our best to get it as full of a grid as possible, but I'm sure the racing will make up for it. So here we are then for the qualifying session. That is at Suzuka for round number 1, and it's going to be Scheckter, the first car out in qualifying this season, and we'll see what these boys can do. They have 15 minutes to get this sorted out to determine the grid order, and the grid order is quite powerful here, I would say, especially through the tricky S-bends and things like that. On the first lap, it's going to be very tough to make up positions, so you want to get that out of the way early, get as far up the order as you can, and we'll see where we're going. Also, a mention to Mr. Ralph, unable to attend due to unforeseen circumstances. Sure, he would have been up there with the top ones anyway, but we'll see him next week in Fuji. We have an honourable mention for a beautiful, beautiful team in the chat, sorry, not in the team. It is no other than King No Skill himself, founder of #Team Disconnect, here to cheer on Chiller Killer 202 this evening. Very glad to see the family support for the Team Disconnect drivers. He is out in qualifying, very closely racing Scheckter, not really trying to find himself that much room at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if he continues this, or he's actually going to go for the overtake. Scheckter's not in the mood to be followed around on his qualifying lap, so he's going to get out the way nice and swift. Chiller is going to be the first one to go for the hot lap this season. We'll see what he can do as Scheckter warms his tyres in the background. King Maka making a prediction saying he thinks it's going to be Ayrton Spencer, the first one to win around this season. We'll have to see if that works out the way. Now do let me know if the connection or anything like that is a little bit choppy in terms of the video. I do apologise. I'm trying my best. I'm not sure what's going on, why it's chopping a little bit. Hopefully it's not too bad and it just sorts itself out. But I think it is just a case of the connection dropping in and out now and again. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Do let me know if there's any issues and I will see what I can do for you. Now, I don't care how many neighbours hear me, I am opening the window because it is a very, very hot evening this evening. And that's going to be paramount for these guys as well. Because obviously this is something that massively affects real-world drivers, of course. But in a sense of it affects sim racing drivers as well. Probably not as much to an extent, but you got to think it does affect the concentration when you're really, really hot. And you think a lot of the houses these guys are racing in, they're not air-conditioned or anything. So most of these guys will be relying on just a little fan to get them through. I know I am. And it'll be interesting to see who can survive the heat, who can survive the tyre wear and everything else in between. Like I say, Ed GTS in the chat as well. Race with these guys racing tonight at plenty of time. So good to see some support from other series coming in tonight. And there you have it. We have the man himself, King No Skill, asking not to be asked about the connection. My apologies on that one. So here we go then, for the first lap so far, it is going to be Chiller Killer. He's going to be coming up to the final chicane now, and he's going to look to set the first time of the session. What do we have then? Coming out the final corner, this is the time they've all got to chase. Chiller Killer is the first one to put a lap time on the board, and it is a 1:40.4. Next up is Scheckter. He's going to set a 1:41.1, and they're both going to be beaten. No, they're not, just one by Dougie Afroman. Across the line comes Ayrton Spencer with a stonking 1:39.6. Incredible lap from him. It looks like Stuart Evans-Stevens is going to be the next one. He's a 1:44.9, well off the pace, sometimes fun. Ollie Polly will be the next one to complete his first flying lap. He will go P5 with 1:42.3. Lenny TBD, an awful lap of a 1:58.4. He'll surely have to go again. Philly Wool up to the line, goes P6. And next up will be Skull TBD. No, it will not because he's back out. Looks like Sonics has had a very slow out lap. He won't be setting the world on fire, that is for sure. Russell Evan is out on a lap as well, as is Avanzo 7. He's on his out lap. So we've got a little bit to go until we see what lap times these guys do. It's going to be Sonics obviously starting a fast lap because it's a very, very slow out lap for him. I think the next hot lap, as Sonics crashes into the pit wall, is going to be Russell. Now, he's already over the 1:46 mark coming into the chicane, and the pole time he's out of reach at this point. He's going to come up to the line. It's a disappointing lap. I'm sure he'll go again, but it is a 1:55.0. Still faster than Gareth Lennon in Lenny TBD, though, so good effort for him. Lenny TBD already out on the charge to try correct that. Ayrton Spenner is as well, though, as is Chiller Killer. Let's ride on board with him then, coming into 1:30R. We're going to throw it in, no hint of a lift. We're up by 3 tenths. It's not enough to dethrone Spen from pole position, but we'll try find some time in the chicane as well. Is it neat and tidy? Yes, it is. Traction control, keeping us pointing in the right direction, coming out the final corner. Chiller Killer up to the line. What's he going to set? A 1:39.9. It's not far off. It's a competitive time. Now, I believe the next one up is Dougie Afroman, his teammate. He is slightly off the pace of his teammate, but he's still up in P3. That's a very good result. Ollie Polly, the teammate of Ayrton Spenner, is the next one to come out of the chicane, out the final corner, running to the line, and it's a drift, and he abandons into the pits for Ollie Polly. Ayrton Spenner's out on an out lap. He's already made a mistake. Lenny TBD finally sets a competitive lap time, puts himself into P5. Good effort. Seven's making a mistake. We can see Philly Wool is coming up to the line. He's going to try and improve his lap time of 1:44. Not going to happen on this occasion. Miles off the time he needs. He'll go again. I'm sure Russell's had a little bit of drama as well, as Skull TBD begins another lap. And it looks like we might see the first of the competitive lap. Through 1:30R, we come into the final chicane. Heavy on the brakes. His P11 currently. He'll want to start a little bit higher up than that. He had good pace in pre-season testing. He'll look to see if he can transform that today. Doesn't look like he's going to challenge for pole position. Certainly not. Maybe midfield? No, it's a terrible lap. Doesn't improve. Stays P11. He has to go again. Now, it is blistering, so I do apologise if the commentary is not perfect tonight. But I am absolutely laughing to bring in some non-professional dialect for you guys. Qualifying time for Avanzo 7 sees him at a 1:40.8. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to close all my web browsers on the computer, literally everything apart from what we need, which is the stream, to try and make this quality as good as I can for you. And then, genius tactic here, boys, I'm going to connect my phone to the 4G so we don't risk straining the internet at all. And we're going to watch the stream to reply to your comments on there. Big brain moves are what's going to win this race and this championship, so why not have it in the commentary box as well, huh? Sorry for the echo, I'm sitting a little bit further away from the microphone than I should be right now. Having to make a makeshift desk at the moment for this, so again, bear with me to the best of your ability. So, in the meantime, during all of that, Avanzo 7 has moved himself up into P3. Good effort. Dethrones Dougie Afroman, who will go again, I'm sure. Shet's out on another lap. Strong P5 for him, and Lenny TBD right behind him in 6th. Ollie Polly, a little bit of a disappointing result for him so far. He'll want to improve that, but I'm sure he's going to do that, because he's only actually done 1 competitive lap. So the others have all been off the pace. Philly Wool has had a decent lap. Puts himself up into P8. Sevens is the highest he's been so far. Meanwhile, Sonics puts himself up into P3 now with that 1:39.9. At least when I'm looking at the stream on my phone on 4G, it actually looks fine. So I think it is just my preview is lagging a little bit. But freeing up a bit of that internet seems to have helped. Big boy brain moves. Okay, so where are we in terms of laps? We saw Oh, there is an off for Skull TBD. Now, he had an amazing pace. He actually won the pre-season race. So he needs to get a move on here because he's going to be starting at the back at this rate. That's definitely not where he wants to be because Russell Avon is trying to go and improve his time as well. Now, Ayrton Spencer coming out the final corner. He's on for an improvement, I think, but it's going to be super close. No, just misses out by 0.2 of a second. Lost it in that final chicane. Chiller Killer setting himself up for a lap as Sonics is out on another one. These guys are just trying to burn fuel at this point. Now, obviously, you start with full fuel in qualifying. Unfortunately, that is something that GT Sport doesn't really allow you to select your fuel load like you would in the Formula 1 game or something. It just sort of says, here's a full tank, go burn it off. Ollie Polly sets the time fast enough for 5th place on the grid. He will continue for another lap, it looks like. Do we have anyone else close to the end? It looks like Sonics. 0.2 off his time at the moment. Will he be able to find any improvement? Let's find out. We got the tyre and we got the fuel to do it. So you'd imagine Sonics will just keep going, burning fuel, even if it's not an improvement. And no, he is into the pits, abandoning that lap. And the next one, he'll have to do another out lap. But these guys have only got 5 minutes and 20 seconds left now. So not a lot of time left. Dougie Afroman down in P6. I mean, that's still not bad. For the caliber of drivers that are in front of him, this isn't a bad position at all for Dougie Afroman. He'll want to go again and prove he's better as well, as we have Philly in the gravel. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. As that is not anything right on the replay there. Not sure what that replay was all about. Just showed everyone in the pits. Okay. Let's watch these guys go around a little bit. Just going to quickly check the camera controls because I apparently forgot how to use them. We have another lap time from Scheckter in the meantime. It's a 140.8. Not sure if that was good enough for an improvement. It was an improvement, but it wasn't good enough to improve his actual position. Meanwhile, Lenny is chasing him, only a 10th behind him. Not even a 10th. Look at this gap between Scheckter and Lenny. These guys are literally dead even on pace. Sevens sets himself qualifying time, good enough for P10. Skull TBD is yet to set something competitive. He'll want to get on with that quite quickly. So what did I miss here? X starts a replay 8 seconds before you press Z. So we need to press Z first, and then we can press X. Gotcha. And then it looks like the other ones carry us back a little bit further. It's good to know that. Good to know we have these controls. And even though I'm useless at remembering. So, just continue on here. So it's C and V. I thought so. That's fine. We're good and we're going. Sorry about that. Unprofessionalism at its finest. So how is everyone in this chat doing this evening? I hope everyone has had a lovely Tuesday. I'm sure it's been a bit less stressful than what these guys have been up to. We're practicing all day during lockdown, I'm sure. Many of them still working, of course, so you know that feeling when you finish work and have to jump on the practice straight away. It's a good lap from Skull TBD. We'll stay with it. Through Degner 1. Awesome commitment. Now he's down into first gear, off on the throttle again. This is a good lap. It's 1.6 seconds of an improvement. He will, at the very least, and Chiller Killer takes pole position with a 139.3. Great lap from the Dane. The Everman doesn't improve. We're going to jump back on board with Skull TBD to see how his lap comes to a close. Coming into Spoon, you chuck it in as close to that apex as you can. Let it run out wide a little bit to that outside apex. Doesn't look like he's exactly got the car where he wants it positioned, but that is fine. He will continue down the back straight. There is a car in front of us. That is Sonics, but it looks like he's gearing up for another lap. So that is fine. He won't get in the way. He's not going to harm us. At least we hope not, anyway. We all know what back markers can be like. Now, up into the chicane. It is paramount to get a good exit out of here. Now he'll get on the throttle, full commitment to the line now, and a little bit of a twitch as he really starts to throw it around. Up to the line, and Skull TBD sets a qualifying time good enough for 9th position. There is a decent lap for him, at least gets him a bit higher up in the grid from where he has been so far. Chiller Killer still on pole with Sonics now in P2. Now, will Ayrton Spencer respond to this? I'm sure he will in some way or form. We've come to expect this from Ayrton Spencer time and time again here in ISR, not ASR. As we have Ollie Polly looking like he's trying to warm up his tyres. A little bit of burnout going on there. Just trying to spy some people on a quali lap. Now we have Douglas Anderson coming towards the end of his Dougie Afro Man, my apologies. So used to commentating AIC that I just pronounce the names that I know in full these days. It's going good, just relaxing, watching some ISR today, says Kevin Jacobs. Fantastic. What's a better way to spend your Tuesday evening? I can't think of one. Great choice from Kevin. We have Ed Campwell, aka Ed GTS. Go on, my son, he says. As he cheers on his teammate for Team Disconnect. Up to the line then, Dougie Afro Man. Does he improve? No, he does not. He will go once again, I'm sure. Chiller Killer going slowly. Now, Ayrton Spencer's out on a lap. Now, this is the lap we want to watch. How quickly is Ayrton Spencer going to be able to respond to being dethroned all the way into P3 at the moment through Degner 1. Full commitment, down on the throttle. Very heavy on the brakes into Degner 2. Philly Wool sets an improvement. Oh, and he's all over the road. No, Ayrton Spencer has gone on his last qualifying attempt. Now, if he gets the car in gear and gets going, he will have an opportunity to keep going here because there is, of course, about a 1 minute 50 buffer between qualifying ending and you being able to finish the session because that is how long that it takes pretty much the entire grid to do a lap. So no matter how slow you are, 1 minute 50 is plenty time to get around here in this car. So if he can get to the line, he should be okay. He's got 2 minutes. It's going to be very, very tight for Ayrton Spencer. And I tell you, if he somehow manages to take pole after that, wow. Ayrton Spencer putting himself under pressure early, though. Now, these are the final laps for these gentlemen. We have Sonics out on an attempt to dethrone pole position. Chiller Killer is less than a tenth in it. And he's 2 seconds down. It is Heartbreak Hotel for Sonics. He will not be challenging for pole position, especially if this man Chiller Killer is on an improvement, which he's not either, so it's still slightly open now. Ayrton Spencer looks like his time potentially is out, is it? I think it's all over, but the crying, I'm not sure if he's going to get around there, and he's not even going to attempt it, is he? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. Ayrton Spencer, only P3 at the best. Avanza 7 will settle for P4. Ollie Polly's in the wall, so he will not be improving any further. Schechter settles for here. Now, Lenny is on an improvement. He's been trying to chase down Schechter for the entire time. Is he going to be able to take P6 away from the American here? We'll find out coming out the final corner. Full throttle, full speed ahead, up to the line. What can Lenny do? So 140.7, it's an improvement, but it's not good enough. Now we wait to see the last remaining 2 of the heavy hitters coming out of the final chicane on the throttle. Here we go, out of the final corner. Chiller Killer up to the line. Ew. Not close enough. Good lap time, not good enough though. And that is it. Zach Swader, Sonics does not improve either. That is Chiller Killer on pole position. There is nobody left to challenge him. And it is Heartbreak Hotel for Ayrton Spencer. Went from first to third in the blink of an eye, and a spin on the final lap, trying a bit too hard, costs him the pole here today. But it is Chiller Killer, the man with a plan. And he takes pole position for round number 1 of the ISR Red Bull World Series. And here is your full grid lineup. Now, no difference at all between the first 2. So that's going to be very, very interesting. But we're getting ready straight away to go racing here for the ISR Red Bull World Series, the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka. Here is your starting lineup. Chiller Killer on pole position from Sonics. Behind him will be Ayrton Spencer. Avanza 7 will follow him for Diamante Nera, and then TBD again for Ollie Polly 02. Schechter will line up P6 with Lenny just behind him. But enough of that. Let's get ready to go racing. And I need to stand up for this because I'm sure this is going to be batshit crazy. Here we go then. Lights out and away we go. Amazing start from Chiller. Is it going to be enough to defend him into turn 1? He's going to have to cover off the inside for Sonics. Sonics still trying, but the door is shut firmly in his face, and that's allowed Ayrton Spencer to seize the opportunity. Go around the outside. We have a car going off in the background. Looks like, oh, no. Around goes Russell, and looks like we've had a disaster for Ollie Polly as well. Oh, dearie me. I don't know what happened there. And the replay unable to show us anything on that. So we'll jump back onto the action. Chillakilla leads from Ayrton Spenner. Sonics is just behind him, though. He's going to try and get P3 back as soon as possible. Looking further down the grid, we have a battle between Lenny and Avanza 7. Contact between the two. Off goes Lenny. Avanza 7 survives for another day. That's going to bring Lenny back into the clutches of those who had the incident a little bit earlier on. Not sure what happened on that one. And we just missed it on the replay as well. My apologies for that. Still a bit rusty with us. So here we go then. It is Sonics trying to chase down Ayrton Spenner to get his P2 back. Nothing doing just yet. We have racing still going on. And we have Ollie Polly has passed Skull TBD. So has there been a drama for Skull TBD somewhere? Oh, he's just had a spin. All on his own. No one else but himself to blame on that one. How unfortunate. So here we go, this is lap 1 coming to a close, and it looks like Zach Swader Sonics is going to be in with a shout here. If it will let us, no, it's not going to let us go into cockpit cam, that is fine. Coming up into turn 1, it doesn't look like he's close enough anymore. He has got a penalty to serve, so it looks like he served a little bit of that penalty. Dougie Afroman is chasing down Schechter for here for P4. The two are going to get close and heated, I can tell. As Schechter goes a little bit wide, that's going to allow Dougie to rope him in just a little bit. Riding on board with a Scotsman through the S-bends we go. King No Skill says, I'm good, mate. Still boring times, though. How are you? Haven't seen in a while. How is retirement? Well, retirement, I'm living the Martin Brundle dream, as you can see. Commentating over races I used to compete in, so it's different, but it's fun. Ollie Polly is on the charge once again, trying to make the most of whatever tyre he has left at this point, really. He's going to try and pass Russell Avan up the inside. It's going to be a close one. I hope there's not contact between the two. Side by side, going into Degna 1, outside line for Ollie Polly. Jobs are good, and that is the biggest corner cut in Japan. Ollie Polly will surely get a penalty for that, but looks like he just wanted to get the job done. Yep, there's the penalty. Wanted to get the job done, no drama, and that's exactly what he's done. Sonics has fallen a little bit back as well to Ayrton Spenner, and it looks like Sevens has had a little bit of an issue. I wonder if we'll be able to see that. So, I'm not sure where this incident occurred. He's still on lap number 1. Replay system is a little bit broken at the moment. Not sure what's going on with it. But anyway, that is Ayrton Spenner right on the back of Chillakilla. He has been hunting him down for the last 2 laps. Coming on to lap 3 now. Is he going to have the momentum, the speed to do so? We're just going to quickly get some more info for you guys. It's not letting us see our tyre wear or anything like that anymore, which is interesting, but that's fine. We'll just have to guess how these tyres are doing for these drivers. That will stop popping up, that'd be grand. Okay, so here we go, Ayrton Spenner all over the rear of Chillakilla. Chillakilla holds on for the first attempt. We ride on board with Ayrton Spenner through the S-bends. Here we go. Now, this is a long race. We're only 3 laps in, so it could all be about... There we go. We can see the tyres when we ride on board. So Ayrton Spenner's been managing his tyres well. Compare that to Ollie Polly. He's taken a little bit more out of his. That is... Is that a cut from Chillakilla? It's going to be close. I don't see a penalty just yet. And oh, there goes Sonics off ball by himself in the background. He has had a nightmare. What happened there? Oh, no. It just looked like he dropped it all by himself. I'm trying to find out what that is. Can we find that out, please? Nope. Too far gone. God damn. That is fine. We'll jump back into the action live because I think we've got some stuff going on, and it is a little bit of a battle here. So Sonics drops down to P5. He's lost a position to Schechter, and Dougie Afroman is now under pressure from Avanza 7 straight behind him. Coming up into 130R, I'm sure will be the battle to watch. Now, he's going to have the slipstream, but of course Sonics has the slipstream as well of Dougie Afroman, so he's got a little bit of a toe to pull him away from the toe behind him, and it looks like he's going to get a better run than Dougie Afroman. Is he going to try and send it down the inside of the chicane? Dougie holds on with a later braking maneuver, and it looks like he's going to hold on. Now, that's going to compromise Sonic's line out of the chicane. He's going to be under pressure here, but it looks like Dougie Afroman's squirming a little bit too, so they're all going to be under pressure. pressure coming into turn 1. Who's going to have the latest of the braking here? It looks you bet on Sonic at this point, really gaining, sends it to the inside line, isn't able to do it. Dougie Afroman holds on, and Avanza 7 just watching in the background. A little bit of a mistake from Dougie allows Sonics to try go around the outside of the first S-bend. Surely not, and no, he has to settle back down for where he is, and that's causing a little bit of a bottleneck effect for Avanza 7. He's watching this with a first-person view. I say we get in on this as well, as we can see how close these three are now. Super, super close, and it looks like Dougie Afroman really struggling at this phase of the Grand Prix. He is really vulnerable right now. He's not going to try and move into Degner. I can tell you that from straight-up experience. You're never, ever, ever going to see a move into Degner like that, not unless you're alongside a long, long time before. But here we go. It looks like Avanza 7's now the man with the run. Is he going to send it up the inside? No, he's not. Just playing it safe. Like I said, these guys are managing tyres and everything at the same time, so while it is all about all-out racing, it is a little bit about tyre conservation as well. And I'll tell you who this has massively benefited. Scheckter has just gone in P3. Great racing from these guys, though. It's so close, it's so fast, and Avanza 7 has gone off and made a mistake all by his lonesome. He's out of this battle provisionally. Looks like he just went a little bit wide out of Spoon. We would cut to a replay, but I'm interested to see what Sonics can do through 130R, if anything at all. Both of them nailing the throttle, and it looks like Sonics again gets the better run. He's going to try to go to the outside. Dougie Afroman tries to close the door, but the door is there. Sonics trying to go around the outside, turns to the inside, door closed in his face. That's going to slow them both up, surely. Is Avanza 7 there to capitalise? No, he's not. So Sonics has a free run at Dougie Afroman here. They're already side by side, trying to go down the start, finish straight. Sonics has the inside line. He should easily take this from Dougie Afroman. Is Dougie Afroman going to be able to outbrake him? No, he doesn't. Lets him go. And that is Sonics back up into P4. Reasonably good tyre wear for what's... Oh, Sonics has gone! Sonics has gone all by himself! Oh, no! So here we go. We got the move completed. We've done all the hard work, and we just get too eager. And we've just gone all by ourselves, and we have to do it again. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write it, folks. I told you this racing was going to be crazy, and that's the kind of thing we were seeing from leaders yesterday. Ayrton Spencer still chasing down Chiller, not enough to pass him at the moment, however. We'll take a look through the grid, see who else we've been sleeping on. Ollie Polly is catching Philly Wool back up. Skull TVD's made his way up into P10 as 7s, and Russell Avon are having a little bit of trouble. Now, Russell has butchered them tyres. He'll need to pit, get on some new ones fairly shortly, I would assume, and to do that on lap 5, that is race ruining. Everyone in the comments, do let me know what you think of the Grand Prix so far. We're only 5 laps in, but we've seen some great racing already. And I think we're about to see a little bit more, because Avanza 7 has got an awesome run out of Spoon. We'll ride on board with him. He's already making his intentions known very, very early. Dougie Afroman senses that, though. And who gets the better run out of 130R? Surely Craig's within sending range. It's an attempted dummy. He's trying to go down the inside, but he's not laid enough on the brakes. You've got to get up earlier in the morning to scare Dougie off the road like that. And that is Dougie Afroman staying in front again, but in doing that, Dougie hinders himself because he's now a victim to this slipstream all the way down the longest straight on the circuit. And looks like, oh dear, we've cut off early, my apologies, but it looks like Avanza 7's trying to go down the inside. Is that a bit of contact? I think there was, but they both get away with it. They're both still alive, but that's slowing them both up. And look who's coming a creeping right behind them. We're about to have the 3-horse battle all over again. Oh, we have got some slipping and sliding from Avanza 7. Really losing time to Dougie Afroman through there. That's going to allow Sonic surely to catch back up to this train at the very least. Let's take a look at the gap at the front. Nothing doing for either of these guys yet. And this is the man who benefited big from this. Scheckter up in a comfortable P3 because these nearest rivals are all fighting each other to the point Lenny TBD is catching up. Philly Wool has got a penalty. Looks like he got that corner all kinds of wrong. We'll see if we can see just how bad that was for him. So, yeah, it gets on the sand on the outside. Fair enough, fair enough. Happens, but it's not going to help him. He will still yet to serve that penalty, however. You'll want to look out because Ollie Polly's not too far behind. I don't know what the pace is like for these guys. So Ollie Polly's latest lap was a 142.0 and Philly's was a 146. So Ollie Polly's gaining massively here. He really needs to tone it down a little bit. And I think poor Russell has been lapped already. Oh, what has happened there? Avanza 7 going really wide as Dougie Afroman and him go to battle. Now, I mean, we'll have to see if we can find out what happened. We'll set a replay marker. That is not the play. Let's go back to normal. My apologies. I thought that was a replay marker. However, it's not really worked out for Avanza 7 because now Sonics is all over the back of him. And surely this is going to be the easiest moves of Sonic's race so far. He's right there. He's just got to send it to the inside. He's going to go for the commitment. Is he going to be able to do it? He is going to, but it looks like potentially contact between the two. Avanzo goes off. Now, I don't know. Was there contact there? So here we can see the incident again. Sonics is going to go to the inside. Was there contact between the two? No, not really. Not really any contact there. Just, I think, Craig trying to hold on to a position that had already gone at that point. But that's massively helped Dougie Afroman. He's away in P4 now. Ollie Polly, again, is catching Philly but making mistakes, which is allowing Lenny to keep up with him as well. So we look to the back of the grid. The two overboost racing cars still trailing around in the background. Now, I think the closest battle we actually have is Sonics and Dougie Afroman, and as well as that, Chiller and Ayrton Spencer. King Maka says, great racing so far. I reckon there's more drama to come, though. Ooh-wee. And my voice cracks as it agrees with you. About a second gap between the two leaders. Obviously, both potentially on different strategies. We don't really know what everyone's strategy is here today, but we're pretty certain everybody is running that super soft tyre. Just checking through to see if we're missing anything. We're not currently, so here we go. We can watch Ayrton Spencer go hunting for a little bit on Chiller Killer. Now, Ayrton has no penalty to serve anymore. He's done that. He's now found a 10th penalty somewhere. He did serve all of that. And now has to serve it again. Something's gone wrong along the lines there for him. He's trying to serve it in the S-bends. It's not really working out for him, but I believe Sonics is catching Dougie Afroman. Now this is about a second gap, so this is about the same as what we were seeing with Chiller and Ayrton Spencer. Now this is the phase of the Grand Prix typically where tyre wear's coming into a little bit of an effect. You know, we're having to slow down a little, conserve the tyres, make sure we don't spin. So naturally, the gaps form a little bit. But it's good to see at least a couple of cars still within close proximity, because not only is there tyre wear, look at the fuel as well. Now when tyre wear comes into effect, who's going to refuel first? Because, I mean, theoretically, we believe you only really need to refuel once this race, if you time it right. You only need to fuel once. So what was interesting to me about that is a lot of people are going to be making 2 stops, at least. I've spoken to some drivers who will remain unnamed because it will add to the drama a little bit later, saying that, in fact, we might need to do 3 stops. So if that is the case, where do these drivers pit? Where do they refuel? Where do they take that extra long stop? Because, of course, cars have to be refueled before you can put the new tyres on, right? And speaking of pitting, we have our first pit stop. It's Ayrton Spencer going for an undercut, and it's no surprise. His tyres are a lot more worn than Chiller Killer, but the undercut is super powerful here, and Ayrton Spencer looks like he's doing that long stop first. He is refueling. Meanwhile, are we about to see a battle? No, we're not, because Sonics is copying Spencer. He's going to try do the same, and is he going for the long stop as well? Yes, he is. So a lot of guys pitting on the first lap. Now, it doesn't look like it was a full refuel for either Dougie or him. Now, it was no fuel for Avanzo. It was a little bit of fuel for Dougie. It was a little bit of fuel for Sonics to half a tank. But Spen has put a lot of fuel in. So he is pretty... I'm not sure if he's going to go to the end. I think he might spread it out a little bit on the next stop on that one. Here we can see Ollie Polly and Skull TBD coming out in very close proximity of each other. Skull TBD has had some good pace this race. Had an unlucky start. He's starting to lose touch just a tad to Ollie Polly straight off the bat. Now, Russell has pitted as well, so that's the end of the first sequence. Now, we'll see just how good the undercut is here. However, we've got a battle going on for 5th, 6th, and 7th, and that is these guys trying to make a way around Philly Wool, who's yet to pit. Now, Dougie Afroman will want to clear as soon as he can because he wants to keep up with Avanza 7, who is also in the running here for that position of 4th. Now, it looks like he has actually managed to undercut in the pits itself by going for less fuel, but that's not going to help, and they both go off. They're just going to part like the Red Sea for Dougie Afra, man. He's just going to, oh, Philly, no, no, no. Philly gets stuck on the AstroTurf. He goes around, has to let Lenny through before he can rejoin, of course, and we do have Chiller Killer in the pits, and is Ayrton Spenner going to undercut him? We're about to find out. Here we come towards the end of the pit lane. Is Chiller Killer being released yet? And it's Ayrton Spenner taking the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. The undercut works supreme, but Chiller has taken on a lot more fuel, so Chiller almost guarantees himself to go to the end of this Grand Prix. That will come into effect a little bit later, but more present situations at hand. It is Dougie Aframan and Avanzo 7 going side by side into turn 1, and we have Schechter jumping out just in front of them, and that is super, super close racing between the Diamante Nero boys. Super close between Dougie Aframan and Avanzo 7 as well, and wow, somehow Schechter has gone from being in a comfortable P3 to being in the middle of a war zone. And now I do apologise. A cough was needed there quite drastically. Now, I'll tell you the reason why Schechter is now involved in this battle. It's not because he's been slow. It's because he's taken on an enormous amount of fuel as well as Chiller. So looking like Schechter and Chiller wanting to take their heavy stop early. Something that we think people are going to need to do certainly quite quickly. Because they're going to have to do it at least once in this race. Some people deciding to do it in the first stint so they can be faster later on, and vice versa. So it's all looking good for Schechter here. He's got the advantage, believe it or not. He may have Avanzo 7 on warmer, tyres that are more underway, but Schechter, in terms of grip, in terms of fuel, is in the better position here. Now, Avanzo 7 will want to negate that advantage as soon as he can on his teammate, so he's going to want to make life rough for him. He's going to want to make the move done pretty much into the next chicane, I would imagine, or at least turn 1. Let's find out what happens. Coming through 130R, here we go to the outside line for Avanzo 7. The door not really closed, just Avanzo 7 wasn't really brave enough to try it there. Settles in, that's I'm assuming because he prefers the move into T1. We'll see how that goes for him. He's a little bit far back though. Sonics is now P3, of course, because he has done a magnificent undercut by short fueling. Great battle between these two. Of course, the only downside to Schechter for being more fueled up is he's going to be a lot heavier at this point in the race. So especially through corners like the S-Bends, Avanzo is definitely going to be quicker. Everything else is about even Stevens, apart from Schechter can go a lot longer. AstroTurf is certain death, says Ed Aman, who is well versed in GT Sport racing, so I am sure he is very informed on that AstroTurf being certain death. That is fair enough. I thought we had a very close lead change there, but we do not. That is fine. We do have a battle going on back here, though. It's between Ollie Polly and Skull TBD. These guys have been going at it. We'll have to keep an eye on them because them guys are in very close proximity. Speak of the devil, what's happened to Schechter? He's off in the gravel. Oh, no. Something's happened there. We've got to see that. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Schechter then coming into the hairpin. Oh, and he's been hit by his teammate. Oh, no. The #1 rule has been broken between Diamante Nero. Do not hit your teammates. And that is exactly what Avanzo 7 has done there. Oh, no. Oh, dearie me. Well, there goes Schechter's advantage. I mean, he's still in with a chance, especially if Dougie Aframan can perform some sort of vengeance. He's going to try go around the outside. Can he do what Nico Hulkenberg did all those years ago? No, he won't be saying see you later to anyone today. He'll have to wait until turn 1 at the very earliest opportunity to go past up the inside. So Dougie Aframan now behind Avanzo 7. Coming into turn 1, and it looks like Avanzo gets a pretty good run, actually, so he is fine. Lenny comes in for his pit stop, lap 11. A lot later than the rest, but we'll see how that plays out early. It looks like he's filling up quite substantially, actually, so another long fuel stopper. We do have a battle in the background. Just trying to find who that is, because it's very, very close. It is these two. I thought it was. Skull TBD is still trying to chase down Ollie Polly here. Good battle between these two this Grand Prix. Ollie Polly seeming to struggle. I'm not sure how much practice he's done in these cars, but he's struggling a little bit here at Suzuka. Skull TBD has had great pace, and he'll want to take full advantage of Sailor's slow start, we'll say. For those of you who know Sailor, know he's usually up here with these top guys. So, oh, Avanzo 7 getting on the throttle a little bit early. It's a good sign for Dougie Afroman. Schechter still within that reach. Now this is actually the closest battle we have on circuit right now as the pit stops come and go. Little bit of time lost from Skull TBD on Ollie Polly on that one. A little bit wide at Spoon. Chiller Killer still P2. Sonic's free P. Free P. There it is, everyone. There it is. Free P. Free P free. Almost did it twice. Avanza 7 is in 4th place. We'll go to just the places. Dougie Afroman in P5. He's followed by Schechter, who was hit off by his teammate earlier on. I'm sure there'll be some kind of investigation into that if Schechter chooses to report his teammate. And Skull TBD is making a pit stop. And it looks like it's on fuel alone. So I'm not sure. Did Skull TBD even bother to refuel? Because it doesn't look like they're changing the tyres here. So Skull TBD, this is very interesting. Is this a fuel-only stop? I never thought I'd see the day, especially not in round 1. And it looks like it is a fuel-only stop, so it looks like Skull gambled on the fuel and has lost. He loses a position to Philly Wall now. That is his target for the remainder of the race, and he's got compromised tyres now because he didn't pit earlier. So Skull TBD effectively already on 2 pit stops because he didn't bother to refuel, and that's just... Oh, Russell is off. Yep, that's Russell. Russell's really been struggling here at Suzuka. We're not able to get to him to get a replay in time. I do apologise. Sevens is in P11. So right now, both the Overboost boys will not be scoring any points unless they make some drastic changes in the second phase of the Grand Prix. Now I do apologise if you can hear my jet engine of a PS3 or the fan. It'll be a mixture of both, I'm sure. The race slows down just a little bit. Avanza 7 picks up a penalty. Dougie Afroman's still within range, as is Schechter. So these guys, come the pit stops again, will be closer than ever, I'm sure. Big winner from this has been Sonics, but his fuel is becoming an issue now. Remember, Sonics looks like he's in a comfortable P3. He's not. And I'll tell you why. Take a look at that fuel down on the bottom left. It looks like we've got 000299. That's climbing, I believe. That's not sure what that is. But anyway, you can see just how little fuel he's got. Compare that to his immediate rival behind him. He's got less fuel. In that case, he's good. But then Dougie Afroman's got more. Then Schechter's got a lot more. And then Ollie Polly's got an enormous amount. And the people in front of Zach have got at least twice as much. Terribly sorry for the distraction there. I just heard a drill. And I thought my PS4 was about to blow up. Not gonna lie. But it's fine, we're good. That did not happen. So, people in the chat, let's test your trivia. Who has been paying attention the most? We have another Overboost car off. It is Sevens. What happened to him? Here we are, coming through. And he's just clipped the curb, hits the glass on the outside, and he has sent himself to the Shadow Realm. Not sure how that's going to affect him in terms of how close he is to his teammate. I think he's plenty far ahead. He is, so that is fine. Air to Spinner still leads the Grand Prix from Chiller Killer, who does have more fuel and younger tyres. Bear that in mind. Not out of the woods yet. Sonics and Avanza will need to pit for fuel, and it is the undercut attempt from Avanza 7. Here we go. This is how Zach got into P3, of course, the undercut. So he's going for it, and it's mainly going to be because fuel is telling him he has to. He didn't fuel enough in the first stop, and he's paying the price for it now, but we'll see how much of an undercut effect this has for the Scotsman. Ollie Polly's up into P6. Great drive from him so far. Only TBD all the way down in 8th, Philly Wool in 9th, and then it's Skull TBD in P10 for ISR. So in terms of teams, let's run through who's everyone with in what position. So TBD Esport lead with Ayrton Spencer, followed by ART Aguri in P2 with Chiller Killer. Next behind them is WSR Sim Racing. They're all the way down in P3. And then it's ART Aguri once again in P4. Great outing from the Japanese squad at their home Grand Prix. Then behind him is Diamante Nero Schechtefer, who's had an incident with his teammate. Not a great start for those guys. Ollie Polly will follow up for TBD Esport in P6. Behind them, it is Avanza 7 in P7 for Diamante Nero, again hitting his own teammate. Then Team ISR, we've got Lenny TBD, followed by Philly Wolf in the Philliams. And then we have Sevens and Russell in P11 and P12. Ayrton Spencer still has a bit of a penalty to serve here. This is interesting because Spenny's not massively pulling away from Chiller. This race is still wide open. Any one of those two is going to win this, and I don't know which one yet. I wouldn't even dare to bet. But let's test your trivia in the chat. I don't think I asked it, in fairness, King No Skill. I do apologise. I got distracted by the sound of the drill. Who do you think is in the best position in terms of this midfield battle? Now, Schechtefer looks like he might be on the challenge to take P3 back here. I think he is, because Dougie Afroman is in the pits once again as well. And these guys are now having to do their long pit stop that they didn't do earlier. It's worked out beautiful for Schechtefer. So, out goes Sonics. He'll be almost guaranteed to go to the end now on that fuel, at least, if he can make the tyres last. Avanza 7, does the undercut work for him? Nada. Does help him past Dougie Afroman. No big fuel stop for him. Ollie Polly has jumped Dougie Afroman in the pits. Hello? How did that happen? He was miles. Dougie Afroman was absolutely miles ahead. Did we miss anything? I think he was in the pits for a long time, yeah, but unfortunately that means we're not able to see anything on the replay. Both of these guys maximising what they can before they get a penalty, and of course are finding penalties in the meantime. Very interesting. This race is still wide open for all of the top 6. And 7. The top 7 is actually still massively wide open. And you know what? Lenny's not too far behind either. Ayrton Spencer then is pitting with 4 litres of fuel left. Really down to the dregs of that engine now. Chiller Killer coming past him will retake the lead of the Grand Prix, but it won't be long before he has to pit. So Ayrton Spencer, not all is lost. He's doing his long fuel stop now by the looks of things. That was quite a long hold, and yes, a lot of fuel left in the tank. Not enough to be challenged for P3 though, so his battle is purely with Chiller Killer at the front. He'll hope that this back marker doesn't affect him. It is Sevens. How good is Sevens at getting out the way? This is, oh, bad. Sevens is very bad at getting out the way. This is awful. Sevens needs to move. Oh, no. This is ruining any attempt of an undercut. Oh, dear. Contact between the two. Spencer's had enough. He's cost him enough time already. And Sevens is getting back on the track in front of him. This is ridiculous. What is Sevens doing? Oh, I can't believe my eyes here. Spencer, yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, that could be race deciding, that. Did Chiller pay off? Sevens, chat. Because that was the worst instance of blue flags I've ever seen. That was 2 sectors before Spencer had to take matters into his own hands. Schechtefer isn't driving because all the brake markers are still standing. That is not the first time I've heard that. That's a very good shout. But no, to be fair to him, he's having an amazing Grand Prix. An American 3 and 4, that would be very good of you, Kevin Jacobs. You'll be very happy with that. Okay, so race still on. Advantage, I would say, is slightly gone towards Chiller. With that, that bad. To be nice, to be professional. That very, 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 very bad blue flag situation for Ayrton Spencer. I'm sure, again, we'll see what happens. But if you're Chiller Killer, I don't know, you won't have any information of that. Unless you have the stream on in the background in case you stream sniping. Stop it. But Chiller won't really know that. So Chiller's just got to keep managing his own race at this point. We have yellow flags. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Who's made a mistake? I think it's... Yes, it is an overboost racing car. Don't want to say shock, but that is about the 20th spin we've seen from Russell, and it looks like he just got on the throttle too early, coming out of the hairpin. Please say he only split. No, he was good. He stayed off the track until everyone passed him. So that's what that's what his teammates should have done. But the battle between Scheckter, Sonics, still on, and I'm not sure, you know. I thought Scheckter would be going to the end. I don't think he is. In terms of fuel, I think Scheckter's having a little bit of a bad fuel run here. Now, I am going to be shocked if we don't see Chiller in the pits this lap, because he is on an absolute drag of fuel. He is driving literally on air at the moment, and into the pits he comes then. So here we go. Now, this will be a longer fuel stop for Chiller as well. Ayrton Spener, though, is in the last chicane. Now, he was held up substantially during this stint. Now, this pretty much dictates who's going to be in the lead. Now, Russell's in the way. He's going to get out of the way pretty fast. Where is Chiller? He's still being held in the box. Ayrton Spener now coming down the start-finish straight. Chiller still in the box. He needs to get going, and Ayrton Spener then takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chiller was fully refueling. Is that an overlook from the ART boys? Does he need that much fuel? He's just gave up an awful lot of time on the track. But I guess he doesn't want to risk having to pit again. Now, Ayrton Spener's got half a tank. He should. It'll be close. He'll have to do some fuel management, but he should be able to go to the end. Scheckter, however, will not. Sonics is going to be close. Avanza should. Ollie Polly, I don't think will. Dougie will be close. Lenny won't. Skull won't. Philly will not. Sevens will. And Russell Avant will be close. So there you're all up to date on the Fuel Podcast. Blue flag, honestly, is the most accurate thing I've ever heard. That was some of the worst blue flag driving I've seen. And I've been racing and talking about racing for quite a long time. So here we go then. It's going to be the battle of the Americans. Do let me know, Kevin Jacobs, if you're still in the chat, who's your favourite American right now? Because you're about to see him go to war. Now, of course, Schecter's got a pit. He's got a pit. It's a done deal. But that is going to be paramount if Sonics needs to pit again. We don't know. We don't know if Sonics is going to be able to go to the end. The best thing Scheckter can do until his pit stop is just hold Sonics up. Make Sonic's life as hard as possible. Similar to Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton in the US Grand Prix 2018? Is Scheckter going to do that, or is he going to box this lap? He's boxing this lap, so Sonics unleashed. Best case scenario for the WSR driver. And Scheckter goes for definitely his final pit stop of the day. We'll see where that puts him in retaliation to his teammate. Coming down the start-finish line now, then Avanza 7. Where is Scheckter first? Still in his box, and he has dropped all the way downtown. Ollie Polly, great racing, still making a charge up in P5. He's interfering in this battle a little bit. Dougie Afroman making a slight mistake, but not enough to ruin his rhythm. Oh, it's going to be so close. I don't think Spen will be able to go to the end. I don't think Sonics will be able to go to the end. If they do, and the same can be said for Ollie Polly, so I've just been praising his driving, but I think he's got a pit stop to go yet, in honesty. It's going to be super close. I don't know who has the better strategy, but it is going to be strategy that wins it for Ayrton Spener or Chiller Killer today. They're both super close on strategy, and they're both doing the opposite. I think Spener will have to pit again. I do. We'll keep an eye on the timings in case they, just go into like a fuel conservation mode or something. But this is still wide open. As much as it looks like the race is done and dusted, this is still wide open. So, here we are, 10 laps to go. Ayrton Spener leads from Chiller Killer, from Sonics, from Avanza 7, from Ollie Polly 02, from Dougie Afroman and Scheckter. Now, I think the guys in front of Scheckter, apart from Chiller, are in trouble for fuel. I do. So I step away from the microphone for a moment, because my foot has gone dead. I mean, to be fair, they have better microphones than me in the real F1 studio, so they don't have to sit with a mouth really close to it. So that's my excuse. If you don't like that excuse, then I'm not sure what to do for you. Okay, Koki. So let's have a look. The overboost boys are, I would say, close, but Russell Levan is 6 minutes and 1 second off his teammate. Disaster of a Grand Prix for him. Chiller's not catching. Spenner's going faster and faster. So Spenner is not conserving fuel here. He's not. So that says to me, Spenner is having to commit to a free stop. Now, it won't have to be a super long stop. It'll just be a splash and dash. But this speed, from me, tells me that Ayrton Spenner's pitting again. We said that some drivers might be going on to a free stop. I think Spenner is going to be the man to do that. Because he's pushing. He's really going for it. Trying to build the gap so that he can, if not come out in front of Chiller, be right behind him. Ooh, a tank slapper from Ayrton Spenner out the final corner. Shows you how hard he's pushing that TBD eSport machine. I'm sure both of these drivers would love to win this Grand Prix. I'm sure of it. But strategy, I think, will determine the winner. Now it's Dougie Afra, man. Is he going to be able to challenge Ollie Polly? Ollie Polly's low on fuel as well. Again, Ollie Polly can pit. Won't have to take on a lot of fuel, but he'll have to take on some, I think. Let me know in the chat, everyone, if you are watching, what do you think about fuel right now? Who do you think these guys can go to the end? I don't think Sonics can. I don't think Sonics can at all. He's using a lot more fuel than everybody else. Ollie Polly and Ayrton Spenner, TBD are in the danger zone. Lenny pits. So he was definitely not going to the end. He has the least fuel of anybody. Where will that bring him out in relation to... Oh, no. Lenny is fine. He is dandy. We have yellow flags in the hairpin. I don't know what Sevens is doing all the way over here. How has he got that far? Not great. Someone had a drama in the hairpin. I'm trying to find out who it was. I feel, though, like it was... Yeah, I was about to say, I get a feeling we're about to watch a lime green car having some drama. As long as they don't get in the way of anyone else. He is super close. And we have Chiller Killer about to lap Sevens. Now, Sevens dramatically held up Ayrton Spenner, which we thought would have a massive effect. I think Sevens is about to do the same to Chiller Killer. Luckily for Chiller Killer, he's in a much cleaner part of the racetrack to get the move done. But look at Sevens just... racing. I mean, it's the most racing action he's had today, but there we go. Let's Chiller Killer through. But that is stressful if you're the leaders. Do you know what? Dougie Afroman's very close for fuel as well. Very close. I'm not sure who's going to have to pit and who's not. I really don't know. This fuel is so close to tell. Soft tyres, bad choice, IMO. Who is on soft? Oh, it's Chiller. You're right. You're so right. I didn't even notice that. That could be huge. That's why Spenner's making a gap. Thank you for being my eyes, King No Skill. Sevens is gone. Overboost, Kawasaki Team Green are not having a good time. Literally, that is very accurate. I don't think they could be having a worse time if they tried. Now, I just want to make sure there's no other close battles on here. I don't think there is. I think there's a slightly close battle between Philly Wool and Skull TVD, but the main one to watch right now is Dougie Afro, man. Trying to chase down Ollie Polly for P4. Now, again, we're not sure. The DualShock 4 battery is low. Incredible. Oh, Ollie Polly's off! Ollie Polly is off. He's made a mistake all by himself. That's going to allow Dougie Afroman to get into the fight with a TBD eSport machine. A lot closer range. Down the inside, surely. Oh, he's not quite brave enough on the bricks. Gets his elbows out. Gets the job done. How will Ollie Polly feel about that? He'll say, right, so that's how we're dancing today, is it? There is a yellow flag in the sector ahead. Don't know who it is. Anyway, it's not relevant. Ollie Polly has got the run. Is he going to try and make the move into Spoon? No, he's going to hold back. So he'll get a good run out of 130R into the chicane. Now, again, both these drivers are on similar tyres, similar fuel at this point. So this is a mano-a-mano, and Ollie Polly is still making mistakes. Crucial for Dougie Afroman's P4. Potentially his P3, because Sonics is... I don't think he's going to the end. There's no way. And I don't think Spenner's going to the end. These guys are so close on fuel. They're going to have to do some major fuel saving to the point where they're going to go so slow they might as well pit. Or they're going to pit anywhere. Ollie Polly's in. I told you he wasn't going to the end. He is in. It'll be a splash and dash. He doesn't need much, but he'll get some fresh boots. And that should help him catch up to the next guys when they inevitably pit as well. Now, we said it's a splash and dash. This is a long splash and dash. There we go. We're underway again. We're up to half a tank of fuel. He wants to play it safe rather than sorry. That is completely fair enough to assume. But if you are... Ooh, Chiller is still losing time. I think Spen's got to pit. Spen is flashing red. He's got to pit. Now, this will be interesting. Because either way, Spenner will likely come out on supers. And like King No Skill pointed out that I missed, Chiller is on the softs. So that's just a back marker. Chiller's lapping. That is fine. Man in the prime position for the podium right now, you have to say, is Schecterfer. Despite being taken out by his teammate, in terms of fuel and everything, we have the race leader in the pits, by the way. Ayrton Spenner, like we say, new tyres, splash and dash to get to the end of the Grand Prix. Where is Chiller? Coming out of the final chicane. It will be close, and if Chiller gets past him, it is going to be a battle of Spenner chasing him down. Now, Chiller Killer coming towards the end now. Where is Ayrton Spenner? Just coming out of the pits now. Is it going to be close? It is, but it's not close enough. Ayrton Spenner in prime position now to win the Japanese Grand Prix. Chiller's going to have to pull something very special out of the bag, but the late fuel stop has paid off for Ayrton Spenner, and you have to say it's with that mistake of going on. Sonic's into the pits now as well. Here is the final stops that we said we'd see on a splash and dash. You'd imagine Dougie Afroman might follow him, do the same. But Schecterfer, man with a plan here, in a prime position now. Sonic's came into the pits a long time ago. So I think Schecterfer might be close, but no cigar? Where is Sonic's? Here we are, coming out of the pit lane now. Where is Schecterfer? Schecterfer takes the lead of third place, the battle for third. Now Avanza 7 is right behind Sonic's on warmer tyres. These guys are mano-y-mano now. They'll be going to the end. Dougie Afroman comes out of the pits, and Ollie Polly has undercut Dougie Afroman. Is that all the fuel stops done? Yes, it is. So this is a straight-up dogfight to the end now. And it looks like the main battle will be Avanza 7 versus Sonic's versus Schecterfer, who's pulled away a little bit. Incredible, incredible. Just want to make sure before we commit ourselves that there's no further battles. There is not. That is fine. So again, just like pretty much how the race started, substitute Schecterfer for Douglas. We have the same three battling once again for P3. And it's all going to come down to a straight-up dogfight. A wounded Schecterfer, effectively wounded because he's got less tyre wear than everybody else. These guys are on brand new tyres. Now, nobody apart from Chiller's on the racing softs. Oh, Sonics is on the AstroTurf. He's got stuck there. That's going to cost him some time to Avanza 7. That could be crucial for Schecterfer. That could give him the breathing space he needs. Very, very lucky for Sonics not to go off there. And I have to agree with Ed. I think Spenner has won this because it is a tyre mistake from Chiller Killer. Gambling on the softs didn't work out for him at all. We ride on board with Avanza 7 as we begin lap number 26 of 31. 43 minutes of racing have gone. And we're coming into the closing stages now. And we said it's just going to be a straight-up dogfight between Diamante Nero and WSR Sim Racing. Now, if the Diamante Nero boys are a bit over hitting each other, and they don't want to hit each other again, then they can work together here to beat WSR. Because Schecterfer, admittedly, was in the best place for the podium. He is no longer. He is wounded, but he has the lead. He can contribute to Avanza 7 though, getting past him, and either they swap positions and one of them rear guns or they just stay as they are. But here we go. It seems like they catch and catch and catch Schecterfer, and then he pulls away a little bit again into a safety net. But here we are, hairpin time. Avanza 7 goes a little bit wide. Is he trying to set himself up for a bit of one? But I think that's just a genuine mistake, really. Schecterfer feeling a little bit of pressure on this lap. The slipstream is not going to help his case. He'll be hoping... Oh, that's wide for Sonics, though. That's going to help his teammates' case of Avanza 7. If he can get a good run out of Spoon. This is going to be close. I mean, Schecterfer is in a bad place for tyre wear, but If these two keep battling the way they are, he's going to be fine. So here's Sonics. This is the closest it's been so far. Is he going to try and send it down the inside? No, he's not. He's going to hold back. Try attempt that, but he's got to get the chicane right, because if he gets it wrong, he's going to have his teammate all over the back of him. That is an excellent run for Sonic. Schechtefer has a little bit of a twitch as well, but this means Avanza 7 potentially can have a double slipstream here and just help himself or follow through. Schechtefer, is this third place going for him? It might just be. I think Schechtefer's trying to hold the in-line as much as he can. Is Sonic's able to go around the outside? No, he's not. He's on the AstroTurf. Contact between Avanza 7 and Sonic's now as well. The battle for fourth really heating up here. Sonic squeezed onto the grass, and Avanza 7 into P4. He's now after his teammate for the podium position. Sonics will not be happy with that. He will want blood, and he will come back for it in the blood red car. And Schechtefer clearly not over, being taken by his teammate. Still gonna fight this one. So Sonics is still in it because they're still battling. It looks like Schechtefer surrenders P3 to Avanza 7, playing the team game a little bit, but Sonics is clearly frustrated, wanting to get past and get after Avanza 7 while he still can. Right on board with him now. Is he going to try to send it up the inside? No, he's not. Playing a little bit conservative, but does he have the able... Ooh, that's a good run, actually. Schechtefer getting stuck on the marbles with them older tyres. Drags him out wide, but now Schechtefer will do all in his power to annoy Sonics, if nothing else. Killer pits again. Now, I'm not sure why he's done it, but Schechtefer maintains the lead. Fantastic driving, but he goes a little bit wide in doing so. He can get back on if he doesn't spin on the AstroTurf, but you'd have to admit, that's potentially third place gone now for Schechtefer. He's going to have to settle for the scraps of P5, but he can't settle too much because Ollie Polly's not that far behind if this all ends up in tears. Skull TBD is letting a car through. Is that affecting his battle with Philly Wall? No, it is not, so we'll cut back to where it matters. Sonics versus Avanza 7, and Avanza 7 squeezed Sonics out, and Sonics will not be happy with that whatsoever. He'll go hunting, and I'm sure we're not yet to see probably the most of the screaming still to come. Here we go then. We'll ride on board, see what we can see. Riding on the rear of the Diamante Nero car. Lots of next-gen sponsors. Lovely ISR sponsors there too, but we can see who's got the better rhythm through the S-bends. I think it actually might be Avanza 7. At least in the first few S-bends. He looks like he's quite comfortable here. Is that a battle I'm seeing up there, by the way? I think I see a battle. Don't know who it was with. I think someone's been lapped. It's Russell B. Oh! Contact! Huge Philly Wall and Russell Ava making big contact because, again, these guys are just not... Oh, dearie me. What is going on between the two overboost cars? Terrible display from that team today. Terrible is an understatement. Dougie Afroman's catching Ollie Polly a little bit here. It'll be close between them two, maybe. Looks quite comfortable. Definitely comfortable now. Chiller's pitted to get back on the supers because he just wants to see if we can take that fastest lap away from him. Sonics is falling back from Avanza here. Avanza has got more tyre wear. You can see there. So advantage is still with Sonics. He's just got to stop making mistakes and get on with it. Sven can literally pause and witness himself win. That is 100% correct. Would you expect anything less from him? I wouldn't. So here we go then, lap 29, 2 laps to go. The battle for third, the battle for the final place on the podium to share with Ayrton Spencer and Chiller Killer is going to go down to Sonics versus Avanza 7. These guys are going to fight hammer and tong, I'm sure. There was a little bit of contact between these two earlier. There's been a little bit of contact between these two all day. Sonic squeezed out Avanza 7 into turn 1 earlier. Avanza returned the favour by squeezing out Sonics into the grass a little bit later in the S-bends. So both of these guys are not very impressed. Is that an overboost racing car? Of course it is. I saw someone spinning, thought it was going to be something important. It is just an overboost car, having the time of his life. I don't know, you know. Avanza looks comfortable despite Sonics having more grip. I think he's just overdriving the car a little bit. And that's causing him not to pass. The blood red machine versus the black and white ace card, as we'll call it. He had an ace up his sleeve, which was shoving him off the track. But I think it was fair. I think it was harsh, but it was fair. Is that Schecter and Ollie Polly? It is. Ollie Polly really gaining, especially if Sevens has another blue flag nightmare. Let's find out, because I'm interested. Because this is a wounded, like we say, Schecter's now on the worst tyres, and Ollie Polly's on significantly better, at least rear tyres. So Schecter's 5th place isn't even secure anymore. He's got to be careful here, as I think Sevens pits and gets out of his way. But don't count out Ollie Polly for P5 here. He's got a penalty, but it's only a 10th. It depends how big the fall off Schecter's tyres are. I think he should be alright, but we'll see. There you can really see Avanza 7 looks like he has definitely got the measure now of Sonic's. Sonic's really struggling to mount any kind of attack here, despite having the better tyres. Does he still have them, or has he burnt them out now? So he still does have marginally better tyres. But Avanza 7 looks so comfortable. Great battles all over the field, as I thought they would be. Dougie Afroman is closing in on Ollie Polly a little bit, who's closing in on Schecter. So don't count these guys out. Ayrton Spencer has begun his final lap of the Grand Prix, as has Chiller Killer. These boys do have 187 laps to sort... 180 seconds to sort this one out. Lord knows what's happened here. So here we go. Here is the wonderful spin of Sevens. We'll find out what happens. So coming through the S-bends, here we go. Coming up into the last one. This is where he lost it, I believe. Nope. This is weird. This is a very long time back. We'll go back. Not sure what's going on with the replay. It's a bit glitched out today. These guys are on the final lap, so their fuel isn't going to matter whatsoever. Sonics has begun his last lap of the race. Sorry. Ollie Polly has Dougie Afroman and Schecter, so they've got a lap to sort it out. Ayrton Spencer leads quite comfortably from Chiller Killer. Then it's Avanza 7 leading quite comfortably again from Sonics. So bad news for the American driver. Schecter is being hunted now by the Norwegian and the Scotsman behind him, so he'll need to just try take it easy, get it home. Ollie Polly has less fuel, will be lighter plus better tyres, question mark. But here's the man with the plan, and it was the strategy that won it here, him today. Ayrton Spencer comes out of the final corner, out of the final chicane, running up to the line. Round 1 goes to Ayrton Spencer. The Welshman takes the win for TBD Esport here in the first ever round of the ISR Red Bull World Series. Perfect start to his campaign. Chiller Killer will take a well-earned P2. Could have done a little bit better on the strategy. I'm sure he will learn that for next time. Like we say, I think Avanza 7 has the measure of Sonics now. Oh, what happened? Somewhere. Oh, we missed it. Ollie Polly must have had a drama as we were watching the victors. Ollie Polly must have had a drama here because he's lost P6 to Dougie Afroman. Now Avanza 7 beats Sonics for today. We'll take home the final step on the podium. Across the line. Beautiful stuff. Schecter is going to hold on to P5. Well earned, despite being taken out by his teammate, being on a completely alternate strategy. P5 is a solid result. Dougie Afroman P6. Ollie Polly settles for P7. And I think he ran out of fuel, actually. That's like what happened. The splash and dash was a bit too much of a splash and dash. And the last man to finish will be Lenny, TBD. So he will come around in P8, but it is Ayrton Spencer who wins today. Strategy and pace was a mixture, but not just pace. I mean, Chiller Killer, both these guys had amazing pace today, but it was Chiller Killer's mistake on the racing softs that won it. And despite the awful blue flag situation, Ayrton Spencer overcomes it to become your winner in round number 1. And there is the man. He will be buzzing with that victory. Comes from P3 to take the win. Overcomes that mistake in qualifying. Fantastic stuff from him today. I'm sure he will be very happy. Great racing from everybody today. And that will pretty much really make your standings reflect everything else. Great stuff from everyone. great racing, and I'm sure Fuji will be just as crazy. We'll have the return of Mr. Alf and Quickshots 10 next week as well to add a few more cars into the chaos. But thank you everybody so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute monstrous Grand Prix. And what a way to get round 1 number started. I really hope that you have enjoyed the race today. I really hope you've enjoyed my commentary today. If you do like it, please let me know. Like and subscribe if you're new to watch the rest of this season. I appreciate everyone in the chat, I appreciate everyone in the race, appreciate just everyone who came by and had a watch. So I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I'm going to leave you with an outro, and we will see you next week. Same time next week, same place next week, but we'll be at Fuji. In terms of same place, I mean the YouTube channel, of course, will be in Japan once again for the Asian Grand Prix of Fuji. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, and good night.